Hey guys, hope you guys have been having a wonderful summer. It's hard to believe that we only have a couple more weeks left before we're back to school and then celebrating with Homecoming Sunday. The last few weeks we've been talking about the 10 Commandments here at church, and today I'm actually going to talk to you about two of them. The first one we're going to talk about is stealing, and the other one is about coveting. That's a funny word. We'll get to that one in a minute. So the commandments are rules that God has given us to live safe and happy lives with Him and with our neighbors. And we're not just talking about the people that live next door to us. Neighbors can be people that are here in the church with us. Maybe they're people in our school, whether they're kids or adults, or it can just be people we come across on a daily basis. The first 4 commandments tell us how to love God. The last 6 commandments are telling us how to get along with our neighbors. So that's why I wanted to say that first. The first commandment I want to talk about today is thou shalt not steal. I think we know what stealing is. But just to go over it, stealing is taking something that does not belong to you without permission and without paying for it. Now, of course, you know that stealing is wrong. That's why God tells us not to do it. Today, we're going to talk about why it's wrong to steal and what we should do instead. When we take something that belongs to somebody else, we show that we don't care about that person very much. Think about it. How would you feel if someone stole one of your favorite toys? You would be pretty upset, wouldn't you? When you steal, it hurts the person you steal from. And when you do something to hurt others, you are not being kind and loving like Jesus wants us to do. So the command to not steal is a command to protect not only the person's stuff, but people's hearts from being hurt. It's a command to respect and care for others. Now, it seems pretty straightforward to not take things that belong to other people. But there's more to stealing than that. Usually when people think of stealing, you're picturing a bad guy with a mask robbing a bank. And if you think about it, there's other ways that we can be breaking this commandment. Robbing a bank is one way. Things like stealing a toy from a friend's house, playing with a sibling's favorite toy without permission, or taking money from mom's purse, or a candy bar from the grocery store without paying for it, or even taking someone's snack at school, or other examples. But did you know that you can also steal things like time? Think about when you're supposed to be doing something like your homework. If you mess around, complain, and play instead, you're stealing time from your family or from going to see friends. You want to get your homework done right away so you have more time to play. The same thing goes for doing your chores. You can also steal someone's reputation. Your reputation is what people think of you. When you gossip by saying mean things or untrue things about someone, it hurts the way others may think about them. For example, you might hear something about someone in your class at school there, and maybe it's untrue. It can make others think differently about them. It steals away the good thoughts others have about them, and that's not very nice either. So that's stealing. The other commandment I said I wanted to talk about was coveting. Now, to understand about this command, we have to figure out what covet means. That's a funny word. To covet means to want something selfishly without caring about what others think or feel. It's not okay to want something so much that you think about it all the time or may take it from someone else or be jealous of someone who has what you want. Coveting is being jealous for what others have. So it's different than it being your birthday and you thinking, oh, I would really like some money so I can buy something you're saving up for. Or maybe you're wanting a certain toy or clothing, things like that. We're talking about someone that says, oh, do you know that person? Do you know what they have? They got the newest phone and the iWatch, and look, they got the shiniest new car. That's being coveting, and that's being jealous of what they have. And that's not what God wants us to be doing. Some people may even wonder, what's the big deal? Are we really hurting anybody by wanting just their stuff? The problem with coveting is that it's a sin that happens inside your heart. No one can see where coveting starts except for you and God. So the interesting thing I was reading about with going over some story ideas for the commandments is that all the other commandments are things typically you can see, at least that you've seen that people have done something or you've heard about things that they've actually done, like stealing. That person took something, or saying the Lord's name in vain, or not honoring their mother and father, or murdering. Those are all things that you can see. Coveting is a bit different because it's something that is just inside your heart that only you and God know about. It's like a little seed buried inside of our hearts, which will grow like a weed and turn into other sins. If you want something so bad that it makes you jealous of a friend, you may even lie or steal to get what you want. When we covet, when we want something so bad that we think about it all the time, we stop thinking about our neighbors how we should. Instead, we're focusing on their stuff and not on how we can love them best. We cannot respect or love our neighbor when we are so focused on wanting their stuff. Coveting is a sin that happens in the heart. It does not start out as something we do, but something that we're actually feeling. Only God can see what's inside of our hearts. And when we covet, God sees that we are not content with what He has given us. Think about it. When we want much more and more and more and more things, it tells God that what we've been given isn't good enough. When we focus on what other people have, we forget to thank God for what we have. And that's a problem because God's given us so much. So we have to be thankful for what God has given us. We have to look at those things that He's given and be grateful. So that's a challenge, but it's a challenge I'd like you guys to think about this week. Think of all the things that God has given and blessed you with and be grateful for them. Be content and keep our hearts pure. Have a good week, you guys.